All right, YouTube, we're going to make a video about this $4 plunger I bought at Home Depot in July of 2024. It had good reviews on the Home Depot website and a lot of bad reviews on the Home Depot website. And I wanted to try to do, see what a $4 piece of plastic would do for me in the sink. What I just showed you there was a piece of screen that we got off of a blueberry bush we have in the backyard. And you can see how nasty this sink looks. And that's from already doing some plunging with this plunger. You know, some of the reviews I read said the plunger breaks the first time you use it. I was like, well, I used it like a good 15 minutes and it did not break. And this is filling it up and draining it out. That right there is that piece of screen I told you about that I pulled off that blueberry bush. And what I wound up doing is plunging it, putting the screen in place, letting the screen drain, and then pulling the screen off, and then rinsing it out, and then just repeating the process over and over and over. This isn't anything that fixed it, you know, on one plunge, for example. I think there are people buying this $4 product who are like, ooh, this should work, you know, you just gotta do it one time, and then it's gonna work. I don't think it works that way. I got great suction in this sink with this plunger. Did not break, did not crack. Will it crack in the future? Maybe it'll crack. Maybe this will be the only time I get to use it. But I'll tell you this worked when all the liquid plumber products failed me. All those liquid products, the powdered products were not working. And this guy, with this little rubber seal that goes around it, created tremendous suction in the sink. Now I'll say this, and it'll come up in the video here in a moment. And that is that, you know, there was hair in the sink too. And I had to kind of reach in and grab the hair and pull it out. And it was gross and vile and filthy and nasty. But after plunging and pulling and plunging and pulling and draining it out, man, this sink drains like a champ. And it would not have happened if I had not, well, you know what? It might have happened if I had hired a plumber and paid no telling how much money, or it might have happened if I used another product. I just want you guys to know that I paid $4, that's including tax, for this product that I sort of feel like even if it only worked this one time, and you know, when I come time to use it again in the future, maybe it cracks and I'm like, oh, it's broken. Well, you know what? I'll just buy another one. I mean, gosh, these days you go out to eat somewhere and you're going to pay $3 for a soda at a restaurant, which, as you all know, that's a one-time use kind of deal. So anyway, here's the water standing, and I'm like looking down into it, and it's draining into the screen. This is after doing quite a bit of plunging. I didn't really record me doing the plunging because I was kind of doing this all one-handed. But anyway, just sitting here watching it drain, oh, so slowly. I'm sure there are people who buy this product and they go, oh, this is terrible. It just doesn't work. It's just so bad. It's the worst plunger in the history of the world because it doesn't work in the time frame they want it to work. But it does work, and it does drain. And anyway, let's just kind of zip through this and see what it does the rest of the way. All right, so with it sitting there and doing some more draining, I get in there and I fill up the water a little bit so I can get a suction on the plunger, and get the little plunger guy in there and put it in and open up the drain and start plunging away, and it's sucking and plunging and pulling all kinds of crap out. I mean, it's kind of gnarly, but my really big, like a big toilet plunger would not get the right kind of seal on the sink the way this thing would. This worked really, really good. I was really pleased with it.
I mean, is this taking some work? Yeah, it is. Are there any complaints about the plunger? No. I mean, I don't know if I could ask this little plunger to do anything else other than what it's doing, which is pretty amazing. What is that? Oh. There's something in there. Look at that piece of paper. Oh, yikes, that's the piece of paper that came off of the price tag. All right. mean, I'm sure there are some people, if they had this type of performance with it, would give it 1 star because it didn't fix it the very first plunge. But I guess because this sink is so filled with so much crap and they don't know what they're talking about. I know this, I am very satisfied with its suction and all the stuff it's pulling out. I do think it helps to occasionally sort of pull it off and get a big scoop of water in it to then be able to force it down and pull it in and out. This is a lot less than it was earlier, but we're going to still drain this out. Strain it, what I mean. All right, we're clearly making progress because I just turned off the phone, put the screen on it, and by the time I brought the camera back on, it already drained out. So this must be getting down to the, in fact, you didn't even hear the suction on it that time. So what I'm going to do is, what I've been doing is I've been throwing this sludge out in my compost pile, but let me show you how I've been rinsing this thing off. So I'll fill it full of some water. And then I just take this guy, look how nasty it is, see? And rather than run it over it, I just sort of do this with it. See? And that gets it off pretty good. It just sort of kind of sloughs off, see? And then I'll wipe out this residue and then I'll do it again. All right, I've been doing some thinking. Here's what I'm gonna do with this review. I'm gonna leave a review on this, and I'm gonna actually give it a 1-star review. Not because it's bad, actually because it's excellent. Because I know there are people like me who don't read typically the 5-star reviews. They read the negative reviews. And I always read the negative reviews because if the negative reviews are really goofy, it usually tells me actually a product is excellent. Much like this one. The negative reviews about this are really like, don't waste your money. And I'm like, how are you going to waste your money on an item that's $3? Or other ones that say, this broke after 6 uses. I'm thinking, you know, it's 360 pennies. So 6 uses. I mean, that's pretty cheap. I mean, considering if you go out to a restaurant, you're going to pay $3 for a soda, a Coke, you know. Look at this guy, it's draining like a champ now. I may be done with this. Let's see how this drains. I'm gonna clog this up. And then I'm not gonna bore you with it filling, then I'll show you how it drains. Got it all wiped up and got it full. We're gonna open it up, see what it does. It's draining pretty good. I know this seems the seal on it seems real close to the opening, but either way it's draining pretty good, a lot better than it was draining, which was not draining. Can we plunge it some more? Maybe. I'm not gonna bore y'all with it. I'm gonna call this little item a success. With tax, it was slightly under $4. Nothing on it seems close to being broke. I'll tell you this, if this only worked one time, and let's say it broke tomorrow, I'd be happy to buy another one because that was some of the best $4 I've ever spent to be able to unclog this thing. Now, granted, a lot of this was involved with me being able to grab that hair and pull out that junk, but I never had seen the hair there before. It's like the hair had become exposed because of the plunger pulling up on it. And that may, you know, that may happen to you guys too. You may have to grab the hair and pull. It's gross, but it works. Anyway, thanks for watching. Oh, one more thing. I don't see how also a liquid drain opener would have been able to knock the hair out anyway. So it would have taken some kind of plunger like this. Y'all make it a great day. So I just let that, of course, drain out. And then what I decided to do is, how well does it drain just run in the sink? Drains, what I would say is normal, which is good.